Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Zihir Basho. In tonight's Game Plan, we'll talk to the Cignal HD Spikers live here in the studio as they go for the gold in the 2022 PVL Reinforced Conference.
We'll also take a look at the playoff game that will determine who advances in the postseason of the UAAP Season 85 Men's Basketball Tournament. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Hello everyone, the Cignal HD Spikers are looking to get back to their winning ways to bring home the championship title in the PVL Reinforced Conference. And tonight, we have with us some of the members of Team Awesome, Jack Janela, Ayel Estanero, and Jel Cayuna. Good evening and welcome to the game. Thanks for making it.
Good evening.
On a Friday evening, no less. Ayel, I want to start with you. Before we talk about the finals, I want to talk about the run to the finals first. Kasi, obviously, yung usapan was, in the last two conferences, you started off really strong, diba? Tas medyo kinapos sa huli for many reasons. You know, illness, COVID, injury pa nga, diba? What was the difference, other than health, what was the difference dito sa Reinforced Conference? Bakit parang tama yung peaking nyo?
No, honestly, like, during the elimination period, parang we were also a bit scared because we weren't feeling it. Like, we would play games, but it wasn't like the usual feeling we would feel after a game back in the previous seasons. But, you know, like what Coach Chuck would always tell us, like, always trust the process. And we did. We even had to rely from other teams for us to get to where we are right now.
True.
So, basically, we just trusted the process, and lagi namin sinasabi na bigay talaga ni Lord to sa amin. And kaya we really try our best to, you know, have our best game in this finals appearance. Kasi no, it's a gift from the Lord, and that's what we always say.
Pero, you know, don't sell yourself short. Marami kayong malaking
Marami pang
games,
mangyayari.
tsaka games na pinanalo, di ba, na matindi.
Exactly. Speaking of trusting the process, I wanted to ask Jack, since she's one of the veterans here for the Cignal. Yes, veteran ka na. Jack, tanggapin na natin yan.
Compliment yan,
yes.
Jack. Compliment.
So, how does it feel? By the way, I wanted to say, oh my goodness, the caption na last to the semis, first to the finals. Loving the vibe. So anong feeling na ngayon you have a chance of winning the crown?
Siyempre, yung feeling is overwhelming. But at the same time, masaya kami kasi nasa finals kami. We're back in the finals after ilang years after COVID, di ba? Yun, very excited ako sa mga darating pang mga challenges sa team namin. And of course, we're getting ready sa Game 2.
Alright, okay, pag-usapan natin yung finals na. Jel, ang daming pagkakataon din nung Game 1, ano? Na kumbaga nag-slip away to extend the game, ano? Ano yung thoughts mo in general about Game 1? Anong nangyari in your opinion?
Yun po, talagang kinapos lang kami and sabi nga namin na may Game 2 pa naman, hindi pa tapos yung laban. Kaya kung ano man yung pagkukulang namin sa Game 1, talagang tatrabahuin namin, mag-double effort kami para matapatan namin yung strength ng kabila.
Ano yung pagkukulang? Ano gusto ko malaman eh? Ano sa tingin mo lang? Sa tingin mo lang?
Errors din, isa yun. Actually, lahat naman ng aspeto na ginagalaw sa loob ng court, talagang nakikita ko na kulang talaga. And yun yung work pa namin.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is a new, kumbaga, series talaga, finals. Kakaiba siya sa semis, kakaiba talaga sa eliminations. Ayel, I wanted to ask you, during those final stretches of the match, like, seeing it from a different perspective, ano sa tingin mo yung susi? Or how will you prepare for the next game, especially now that you have a few more days to prepare for it?
So like what Boom said earlier, we had a couple of opportunities to grab, especially second set and third set. So in finals, kasi I think it's always a matter of mental toughness and how you will be able to adjust and execute quickly whatever is instructed of us in game. Like yung adjustments talaga na kailangan. Kasi preparation is one thing. We've been preparing really well for them. We've been studying them. them. We've been reading their plays, their tendencies, whatsoever. But then pag game na kasi talaga, iba na talaga eh. So what will really matter in game 2 is how will we able to execute our adjustments instantly, automatically after a timeout, after a technical timeout. And syempre, the mental resilience. Kasi skill-wise talaga, you'll see na match talaga eh. So it's the mental resilience and adjustment in game that will make the biggest difference.
Kaya duluhan eh. Duluhan yung laro eh, no? Jack, gusto mo ba tong may konting araw na pahinga? Or gusto mo ba one day lang, the next
Bukas
day,
na.
bukas ka agad? Ano ba, di ba, usually sanay kasi kayo sa isang kind of routine, di ba? Pagka elimination or semifinal, 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, mahaba na minsan. Pero pag ganitong finals, mas gusto mo bang medyo mahaba para pag-aralan? O mas masakit ba tong, meron pa tayong
May pahinga
3
pa.
araw? O, ano sa tingin mo dito?
Ako, okay lang naman. Kahit ano, basta yung preparation, yun yung most important. And I think mas okay sa akin na medyo kahit pa paano may pahinga. Kasi since nung game namin, from elimination to semis, dire-diretso, from F2 Chocomucho Cherry, Creamline, tapos Petrogas, parang medyo wait lang. Talagang tumodo kami. I mean, I can see lahat ng mga teammates ko na talagang tumodo every game para lang to get where we are.
Siyempre.
And I think ito yung pinakakailangan namin para makapag-isip siguro and makapag-loosen up and at the same time to prepare para mas maka-counter kami dun sa mga sa attacks ng Petrogas and all, sa lahat ng mga shortcomings namin.
Yun.
I wanted to ask Jel, since she's one of the latest addition to the Cignal Team Awesome squad. Jel, yun nga, nabanggit ni Boom kanina, bronze in both the Open and the Invitational Conference. And then now, may chance na mag 1 or 2. Ano sa tingin mo yung growth ng team mo so far this year? Kasi ganda din eh. From last year na Ilocos Bubble, kakaiba din yung story yung nag-unfold para sa Cignal. And then this year, podium finishes right away. Ano yung story ng Team Awesome this
siguro
year?
sa Open Conference Invitational namin, sobrang dami na din namin napagdaanan eh. Ang dami namin na-experience. Siguro, dun din, kumbaga, na mas nabuo yung team kung paano mag-regroup sa mga pangyayari. And, ayun, lahat naman ng natin, na-experience namin, yun yung nagpapatibay sa amin. At para mas lumakas pa,
Compliment namin yung isa't isa.
mas tumibay pa yung loob namin para sa mga games.
Ang ganda pa naman nung pagtapos nung invitational. Yung
Yes,
ganda nung comeback.
wala talaga.
Ang tindi nung comeback na yun, no, to get the bronze. Okay, let's talk about Ty. Ty is not here, so let's talk about her. Hindi, in a good way, of course. Dahil napakaganda ng linalaro ni Ty nitong bandang huli, no? Like, when it really mattered.
Right.
What do you think? Kasi kayo nakikita niyo siya in training. What made the difference? Hindi naman natin pwede sabing nag-switch siya. I'm sure it's parang progression yan pagdating sa mga training and yung na-experience na niya yung Philippine volleyball. Ayal, ano tingin mo yung naging diferensya ngayon?
I think like what I said earlier, how we trusted the process. When she came in, she wasn't really in her best form. She came from a few months of rest.
Right.
So wala talaga siyang training. So, a lot is expected out of her, especially that it's a reinforced
Correct.
conference, a lot of
Right.
pressure given to her. So I think I couldn't really speak entirely for her, but I feel like she also trusted the process, just took it day by day, just really tried to improve. And she's very honest when she comes, like, felt short in training, in games, like, she apologizes, because she really knows her role in the team. And I think, for her, she just really trusted the process. Kaya unti-unti na nakikita yung improvement niya. She found her groove. And now that we're in the finals, in the semis, andun na talaga yung, at least, what is expected of her. She's performing better, especially in this finals appearance.
Okay.
Alright, I wanted to ask also, that's a good note kasi I saw from an interview that she said na, as long as our team win, it's fine if I'm like still sitting on the bench cheering. But I guess overall, moving forward, any message to your fans? Baka gusto
For
niyo
game
siyang
2.
invite for
Sige.
game 2 on
Yeah,
Tuesday?
ano bang projection
Check.
natin dyan?
Siyempre, yung mga supporters, yan yung isa sa mga nagpapatibay ng loob namin. First of all, siyempre, thank you sa aming mga Team Awesome Nation na patuloy yung sumusuporta sa amin. Also, the management, siyempre part ng support yan.
Of course.
And sana wag nyo kaming bitawan and magtiwala pa rin kayo, kukunin namin yung game 2.
Yan!
Yan.
Fighting
Exciting,
words!
exciting.
From Jack, I love it.
All right, Jack, Jel, and Aya,
Thank
you
you.
so much for
you.
joining us live
Good
here.
luck. Stay healthy and good luck.
Yes. Good
Thank
luck.
you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
All right, catch the 2022 PVL Reinforced Conference live on One Sports Plus, Cignal Play, and Smart Giga Play. And after the break, we'll find out what fans should look out for in the upcoming playoff match between the De La Salle Green Archers and the Adamson Soaring Falcons. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. The UAAP has one last slot in the Final Four, and two teams are battling out to see who gets to book it. And tonight, joining us to talk about the matchup between DLSU and Adamson is UAAP analyst Isaac Roll.
Long time no see, buddy.
Long time no see.
It's funny because we did the La Salle
UST.
match
Oh my
that
goodness.
kept La Salle alive for this.
That's right. So, very tagal na hindi nagkita.
Oh,
But
medyo.
okay, let's jump
Tagal na
right
to.
to it. Adamson and the LSU playoffs gonna start in a few days. What are our thoughts? Do you think Adamson has lost its momentum in the last few games that they lost?
Especially because they're coming off a
I would
loss,
argue
huh?
not.
Okay.
Because, first of all, they beat NU on a buzzer-beating 3 by Jerome.
Okay.
And we covered that game also.
Yes.
And in the second game, they did lose to Ateneo, but if you look back to that game, in the fourth quarter, Ateneo was up 12 with about 8 minutes to go. And they managed to cut it to 1. I was watching that game. I really didn't know what happened. And you saw that despite Lendl Duanga going down with ankle sprain, And a big major boost from AP Manlapa was that they were competitive at Ateneo till the very end. Naubos lang talaga sa dulo. I think they used too much firepower to cut the lead to 1. Na they started feeling the pressure na nagmamadali na sila. They felt the moment became too big for them. So, but at the same time, getting that experience, that belief that they can hang with the best. Adamson, I think, is relatively playing better and better.
Okay, well, we'll talk about LaSalle first. Let's focus on Adamson. What are the concerns for you? Okay, you talked about the positives, right? Is the ankle for Lenda going to be a concern? Obviously, it's a positive that there's another guy, AP Manlapas, showed up. Is there anything else that might concern you, that might balance it all out?
First of all, in the Jerome Lastimosa's production, the last 2 games, he did hit the big 3 against NU, but in that game, he only had 7 points coming back. We saw that big 23-point production coming off the bench. But after that game, he finished with 7 points against NU, 10 against Ateneo, where you saw defenses are starting now to key on him again because he's the guy. He hasn't missed a step. So who's going to be that third? Because Duanga, the production has been a little bit steadier, has been bigger these last few games. So who's going to step up? Because Manlapas all of a sudden dropped 22 points. Right. Will it be Yero, Sabandal, or Hanapi? Who's going to be that guy to come in and providing that extra scoring punch? This asset is Adamson is a team that wants to keep this ball game scoring low. They don't want to go up and down. They don't want to out-offense the opponent. They really want to focus on defense, but you still need to put points on the board. Yeah.
All right, speaking of stepping up, let's move on to DLSU. A lot of key athletes might miss the match, the playoff match. Shawnee Winston, Mike Phillips, and maybe Kevin Kiambao. Maybe. So we'll
because
see.
we did not see him in the last game.
Last 4 games, and we saw that scoring average drop. He was averaging above 20. I think it was on 22 to 24 points. All of a sudden, cut to 14. But basically, LaSalle is missing 3 mythical 5 caliber players in that roster. And still, if you look at that roster, they have Evanelli, CJ Austria, Mark Nonoy, Bright Nuanco. They still have guys on the team. It's not like they're decimated. They feel like UP na parang, Cars have a bad game. Parang, ang lakas, they have such a deep team and it's just a matter of who's going to step up.
Okay, concerns. The fact that they were down 79-70 and a lot of their own fans were like really jittery at that moment. I wouldn't put it past them if some of them already said to themselves, "Oh no, we're done." 6 minutes, 9-point lead. UST was playing loose. They were shooting threes. They came back. That's the positive, right? They dropped a 13-0 run. But is it a concern to you that a team that was 1-12 got them on their heels down 9?
And this is where I see when I said Adamson is playing better despite the loss. But I feel like LaSalle I think they may have peaked too early because they did pick up a win against UP and NU, which basically everyone counted LaSalle out because then they picked up 2 big wins, gave them that push, and then they lost to UE. They dropped the game. They almost lose the game to USC. Parang, are they on the way down? Have they peaked? But at the same time, if these 3 guys do come back, and if they do come back, parang it addresses a lot of those questions.
Is Evanelli gonna have another big game if, let's say, he doesn't? Because he's used to the big games, right? As we know.
I think you're the one who's gonna. You called it last game in our coverage. I feel like he's gonna have a big game, and he did have a big game. And they're gonna need that kind of production because without Shawnee, without KQ, without Mike Phillips, he is their #1 offensive option right there.
All right. Okay.
All right, let's move one up. Let's talk about NU. They're in a 2-game losing streak with Baclaan ejection and suspension. So how do you think they will do in the semis? What do you think they should do in order to stay alive in the semis?
#1 is just go back to their identity. This is a team. Again, it's not gonna put out points on the board. They don't have a go-to guy that's gonna go. They don't have like a Shawnee Winston or a David Defonso like, go get me a bucket. They rely more on a collective effort. And if you look at their roster, they have a lot of lengthy wing defenders who you see the energy does not drop if Coach Jeff taps into the bench. It does not drop. So it's gonna be that. They're gonna have to rely on their bench, rely on their depth, and do the dirty work because that's what they've been doing all year. You saw they suffocated NU, they suffocated LaSalle, suffocated Ateneo. It wasn't like they put 80 points up on the board. They kept the scoring low. frustrated opponents, and that's what they're gonna have to do against UP.
Unfortunately, they have the twice to beat disadvantage against UP, but they've beaten them, as you mentioned, so they'll take confidence from that. UP now lost, what, 2 of the last 3?
Yeah.
So, how are you going to wash that? How do you wash that away? Because it's a brand new round. You need to win one to make it to the finals. You have the luxury of twice to beat, but it's a tough opponent. What is your mindset if you're UP?
Parang, it's a good wake-up call to get these losses. Of course, you never want to lose. You never want to lose. But getting that wake-up call that, especially super close to the finals, that, okay, we're going to have to step up because we just, like, anybody can beat us. We've lost to these teams. And you see that if we don't play our best, teams are gunning for us. Everybody knows that Ateneo may have finished number 1, but UP is still the team to beat. UP was the one with the target on their back. So, you know that's going to happen. Expect everybody's great game, and you're just going to have to step up because they have the depth. It's the question if they're all going to put it together and pick up the win.
All right, got to talk about the number 1 team.
I mean, let's talk about UP and Ateneo. I mean, from the season 84 eliminations finals, talagang palitan lang sila. And how do you think this season is different from the last? And how do you think these games will unravel?
And Ateneo back at number 1
Yes.
with a 6-game winning streak.
And I think it has to culminate with them talking about that Ateneo-UP game. You saw it. Ateneo wanted that game. Parang they played perfect. They got guys coming off the bench who were ready to play. Like, they got good games from Gab Gomez, Chu Dave. And Dave, after struggling the first half, had a better second half. MVP on showed what Sportskeep Patigas still had his production in the first half. You had that. Like, are they clicking? But at the same time, they kind of squandered the lead against Adamson.
Right.
So parang the same thing with LaSalle. Did they hit their peak against UP? Parang inubos na ba nila lahat ng hunger nila, lahat ng energy na they came into Adamson, did business for the most part, but the slip up, you can't let up because back in the day, 12 points, like, you're kind of comfy. Now, we've seen 12 points disappear in a couple of minutes.
Coach Tab is at number 1 once again. Here, the number 1 seed, but Sunday is the business at hand, and that should be exciting. Thank you very much for swinging by, Isaac, as always. And you guys can catch the playoffs and the matchup live on One Sports, the UAAP Varsity Channel, Cignal Play, and on Smart Gigaplay. And after the break, we'll check out the sights and sounds from Day 3 of Team Yamaha Motor Philippines' campaign at the recent 2022 ARRC Thailand leg. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're still watching The Game. The Asia Road Racing Championship is one of the most prestigious events in all of motorsports. As we celebrate our country's best riders on the international stage, let's check out highlights from Day 3 of Team Yamaha Philippines' campaign at the 2022 ARRC Thailand leg.
Etong race to, kumaga, decision talaga. Kasi iba-iba yung weather eh. Hindi mo malaman kung baka biglang uminit. Kaya wala, sugal talaga. Kaya ayos lang. Racing naman talaga yan eh.
Alam ko po sa sarili ko na maganda po yung pinapakita kong performance. At syempre, nakakasabay tayo ngayon. Ayun lang talagang nagkakaproblema talaga. Well, it's part of the racing talaga. So, di naman natin ginusto yun. Pero wala, ganun talaga.
Very proud of everything that we've accomplished here, and we're looking forward for 2023 that definitely we will be coming back stronger and faster.
Yamaha, it's all about race, and we keep on developing racing talents in the Philippines. So if anybody interested in, just come over to us and let's work together.
Napaka-outstanding ng pinakita ng mga riders natin. From the beginning of the season, from round 1, also in Thailand, next by Malaysia, Japan, and Malaysia again, then Thailand. So far, naging magandang kanilang improvements along the way. I'm looking forward for us to showcase more of our talents next year.
Worth it po yung mga pagod namin na pinaghirapan namin since day 1 hanggang nag-final na po. Kaya sobrang saya. First time ko po nakuha itong underbone 3rd overall. Kaya sobrang saya ko po ngayon.
This year is really shows all their hard work, all the sacrifices that they have shown and really showed up. The trainings that they have and everything right now is really awesome. How we develop this kind of team, and we look forward. This will be the continuation of what we're doing as part of Team Yamaha.
And on that note, don't miss out on all the latest sports stories from the official One Sports website. For more news, features, highlights, and behind-the-scenes content from your favorite sports and leagues, visit onesports.ph. One Sports, where sports is more than just the final score. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zihir Vasho.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. Happy weekend. I'm Boom Gonzalez, and this has been The Game.